Hello, Motorheads. We, the members of SAE-VIT, welcome you to the auto roundup of the month of July. I am Daksh, pursuing computer science degree, specializing in Internet of Things.
And I am Mayur, a sophomore in VLSI design and technology. We are extremely thrilled to have you all on board with us for the auto roundup of July. Before we dive deep into the automotive world, let us start with the motorsports news. And when we say motorsport, the first name that comes to your mind is Formula One. This month, as a Ferrari fan, has been very traumatizing for me. I'm sure, all the Hamilton fans out there will be feeling the same.
Yeah,
Are you a Hamilton fan?
I am, yeah.
You are a Hamilton fan. Okay, fine. So we will talk about the two Grand Prix that we had in the month of July.
Silverstone and Spa.
Okay. Would you like to start for Silverstone?
Yeah, Silverstone after FP1 gave us a lot of hopes.
We thought that Hamilton might be there in the podium this time as well, but what
After
happened?
12 long years, Hamilton couldn't be on the podium in Silverstone, which was very disappointing for the fans. The free practice session 1 was topped by Lewis Hamilton, of course, giving us a lot of hopes.
It did.
Free practice 2 was topped by Lando Norris, followed by free practice 3, which was topped by Charles Leclerc.
Again, having Hamilton and Charles Leclerc on podium, it did, lit a few, sparks of hope in us. But again, there was nothing of that, because when qualifying came, we saw Max Verstappen taking the pole, and surprisingly enough, this was like one of the rarest occasions when Verstappen was in pole, and he didn't end up being on the podium when the race ended.
Yeah.
And we saw drastic, results this time. We saw Hülkenberg in the podium.
Which was after 203 races, am I right?
Yeah, this was his first podium in F1 career.
Yeah.
And I was very happy for him personally, because it felt like a personal achievement. I was very happy that Hülkenberg finally was able to get a podium in his career. And then, coming back to the race, the main race.
So the main race was won by McLaren's Lando Norris. McLaren's pace this year has been
It's been unreal. They have like rocket ships. They are miles ahead of everyone else in the paddock. They have cars that are not competitive. They are not only competitive, but they're just leaving everyone behind at the point.
okay. Moving on to the second Grand Prix, which was hosted on the 23rd of July, the Spa.
Yeah.
Which is Spa.
Spa was a race in wet conditions.
Yeah.
And we all know how dangerous Max Verstappen can be in race conditions. But was it the case this time? It wasn't. Again, it was McLaren domination in Spa, straight from the free practice 1.
It was Oscar Piastri with the race win.
Okay.
With Lando Norris, his McLaren teammate, coming in second, and
Charles Leclerc in podium. Finally, after a long wait, Charles Leclerc was there in the podium, be it P3. But as a Ferrari fan, I was happy enough for him, and we were hoping for further, better results from him in the upcoming GPs. Alright. This was it for F1 in July. Now, moving on from F1 to WEC. Let us
World
talk about
Endurance
what happened in World Endurance Championship. We had one race in the whole month of July.
the Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo.
It was held on 13th of July.
And the hypercar class winner was Cadillac Hertz Team Jota, and this was Cadillac's first ever victory in the WEC.
I think July has been a month of first this time. Now, again, coming on to the Le Mans Grand Turismo third class winners, it was Accordi's ASP team, which is also Lexus. Now, taking away the key highlights from this race was that Ferrari, which had won the previous 3 races in WEC, they were not a deciding factor in this race, because in WEC2, Ferrari has been carrying on with their balance of performance problems in the racetrack.
Yeah. So the hypercar podium was completed by the Porsche Penske number 5 crew, while the AF Corse, who were the winners of Le Mans, finished in 8th place, just ahead of Alpine 36. And the Accordis ASP team secured its first World Endurance Championship victory in the LMGT3 class.
That is interesting. In the closing minutes of the Le Mans Gran Turismo third race, Eduardo Barrichello, son of Formula One legend Rubens Barrichello, clinched a podium finish, taking third place after starting on the pole position in class.
There was no vacuum. It was fine laps.
The race was the fifth round of the 2025 FIA World Endurance Championship.
Now let's move on to the NASCAR Chicago Street Race, which was held on the 6th of July. It was won by the Dutch driver Shane van Gisbergen, and this was his only second street course triumph in Chicago, with the first one coming in 2023. What makes this special is just days later of his win, NASCAR also announced no street racing in Chicago in the year 2026.
That will make his win more special, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then Gisbergen's win also underscored the rise of road course specialists in NASCAR. Now, moving on to the NASCAR Brickyard 400 Indy race held on 27th of July, which was won by Bubba Wallace, number 23. We won the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. It was Wallace's first win of 2025
and likely locked him into the playoffs.
Yeah. The victory came in a thrilling fashion. It was a double overtime after he conserved fuel at the end.
Now it's time to shift gears from the combustion engines to the electrifying future. Of course, we'll be talking about Formula E cars. Yes, the Formula E Berlin E3. The Berlin E3 Round 1 was held on July 12th, and Jaguar's Mitch Evans won a rain-affected Berlin race. Oliver Rowland from the team Nissan had a late crash and scored 0, narrowing his championship lead. And Pascal Wehrlein charged to P2, keeping Rowland's title unclinched for now.
Evans' win was his second of 2025 and Jaguar's 50th podium. Now moving on to the second round of the Berlin E3, which was held on the 13th of July. Nick Cassidy of Jaguar won the second Berlin race, charging from the 20th position on the grid. More importantly, the title rival Oliver Rowland finished 4th, clinching the 2024 and 25 Formula E Championship with 2 races to spare.
Nick Cassidy also fended off Andretti's Jake Dennis for the win, while Pascal Wehrlein fell back after power struggles. Okay, so now we'll move on from the motorsports category to the wider aspect of the automotive industry throughout the world. Now, coming to everyone's favorite muscle car company, Ford. Ford teased a new EV, Model T Moment, weird name. In late July, Ford announced an August 11 big reveal event in Kentucky for new low-cost EVs. CEO Jim Farley called it a Model T moment for Ford, signaling its importance. This comes amid a tough second quarter where the EV arm lost $1.3 billion and EV sales have been very flat. The details are under wraps, but Ford hints at multiple vehicle launches, with a pickup truck launch in 2027.
Okay, that is interesting. I think we'll be able to see a lot of electronic vehicles in different platforms from Ford because they are actually investing in the scene right now.
Okay, let's jump to some numbers now. Well, Hyundai. Okay. Hyundai in USA posted a record July sales. In July 2025, Hyundai Motor America sold over 79,000 vehicles, up 15% year over year. It's the best July ever, I mean.
That is big. The numbers, they speak for themselves. Like Hyundai, they have a very good quality of cars outside India. I'm saying this in specific because Hyundai cars that they sell in India are a bit degraded in quality than what they sell outside India. So hopefully we'll be receiving the same quality of cars from Hyundai in future in India as well.
And the electrified models, well, in the numbers, they led the way. Hybrids and EVs. Example, the Ioniq 5 Elantra HEV set monthly sales records and electrified sales jumped to over 50%. Strong SUV and pickup demand. The strong SUVs and pickup demand, for example, the Palisade as well as the Santa Fe, fueled growth, underscoring Hyundai's broad market strength.
Now, let us talk about the Chinese EV market shifts. The world is eyes in China right now, and now with Tesla down, the BYD growth also slows down. Tesla's China-made deliveries fell 8.4% in July, which is over 67,000 cars in numbers. As cheaper rivals, they grew in numbers, they gained traction in July. Its July output was down by 5% versus the previous month, extending a quarterly decline. By contrast, BYD, the global EV leader, saw production dip of 0.9%, which is over 300,000 units, and sales edge up only 0.6%, which is not even 350,000 units.
Yeah.
BYD's plug-in hybrid output plunged 25%, suggesting strategy shifts. I think this is a sign that people are moving from sole electric to hybrid engine cars now as we are progressing towards the future.
Yeah. I mean, EVs like at least with the infrastructure built in India, EVs are not quite there yet for reliability.
They might not be as feasible as they look like in surface.
Yeah. Up next is another news from Chinese automakers which are expanding in the European Union, the region European Union. BYD, Build Your Dreams, the car company, is building a $1.5 billion EV plant in Hungary and an electric bus or truck plant nearby. Even outselling Tesla in Europe in April. Changan and Geely plan sales launches and even factories in multiple countries, and Chery will bring SUVs to the UK. All of these signal the Chinese penetration into the European markets
of European Union. Now, we also have a news that BMW is rolling out the new summer upgrades, and they are specially boosting their EV range this time. BMW's July updates focus on tech and performance rather than R&D in new cars. All new silicon carbide inverters in the i4 eDrive models raise efficiency, adding 22 kilometers WLTP of range. A new top-end model, the i4 M60 xDrive, delivers 601 horsepower, which if we convert into electric terms is 442 kilowatts, and it has a staggering 0 to 100 km per hour in times of 3.7 seconds, which is fast like anything. Over the air tech expands too. Many 2025 models get the smartphone-based BMW digital key from July. Now, the discussions are ongoing on how crucial are the incremental range gains, that is via SiC inverters, to EV competitiveness in the market right now.
In the month of July, General Motors partnered with Redwood on battery reuse and grid storage. It also signed a July Memorandum of Understanding with battery recycler Redwood Materials to deploy grid-scale storage using new US-made EV batteries and second life packs from GM vehicles. Redwood, via its Redwood Energy Unit, will integrate GM cells and use packs into fast, low-cost energy systems, aiding data centers and grid resilience. GM VP Kurt Kelly notes that rising electricity demand in EVs, as well as artificial intelligence, and the need for domestic storage solutions.
Okay. Speaking of batteries, it reminds me that in July, Toyota, Susho, and Asahi Kasei formed a strategic joint venture for battery separator production. AK will supply its advanced hypo separator films from a new Charlotte NC plant coming online in 2027 to Toyota Susho in America. The local supply deal underpins Toyota's battery output goals, creating a North American supply chain. The move reflects a shift towards regionalized battery component manufacturing to meet the EV demand, which is now in optimally high in all time. We all know how big of a role the North American supply chain investments play in the global OEM market. The roles that they play includes reshaping the global automation industry. They also they meet the production capacity goals, they support electrification and sustainability, and they also support the strategic dispersion of manufacturing. So this is why the North American supply chain is always in rise. It never goes to a dip, and this is why the joint venture of Toyota, Susho, and AK will surely prove to be successful in future as well.
Well, apart from Tesla entering India, the Vietnamese EV startup VinFast has officially started assembling its VF6 and VF7 crossover EVs in July at a new plant in the city of Tuticorin, situated in Tamil Nadu. Initially, a $138 million investment, which was upgraded to $500 million later. The plant's capacity is 50,000 units, which can be scalable to 150,000. VinFast targets not only Indian sales but exports to South Asia, Middle East from this site.
This is definitely going to boost India's economy by a huge margin in the coming future.
And it might bring about a change in how India looks at EV vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. Now we'll move on to Tata Motors, one of India's very own. Now we also know that Tata Motors and companies like Mahindra, they are completely stepping in the EV scene. Right now we have Tata Motors EV sales reports with us, which have a surge of 42% in July. Tata sold over 7,000 EV units in India during July 2025, up 42% from a year earlier. This impressive growth helped offset an overall 12% drop in Tata's total passenger vehicles. Tata's domestic EV push with models like the Punch EV and the Nexon EV reflects rising local demand in the company's global EV roadmap.
Well, honestly, Tata changed the game with their new Nexon.
For sure. Along with Tata, we have also seen Mahindra with their VE6 and the XC9 and the XC9 lineups entering India. Those are very beautiful looking cars. I've seen them in person, and I think it is going to change the scene for EVs in India. As long as we have good infrastructure around us for EVs, I think this is going to sustain in the market for a long time.
Well, we were just speaking about how Toyota is performing in the EV market. Now let's come back to how Toyota is performing in the general market. Toyota had a US sales jump of 20% in July. Toyota Motor North America reported July sales of over 200,000 vehicles, including Lexus, one of my favorite cars. Electrified models were nearly 43% of their total sales, which is huge at this point. Which is huge. The model Yaris and RAV4, especially with hybrids, drove growth ahead of impending import tariffs.
I think Toyota is trying to shift their focus from the ICE vehicles to the EV market because they can see, prospective future in that market as it is scaling, and it will scale in the coming future as well. We have seen how the companies are switching their focus from normal combustion engines to electric vehicles, and I want to ask you, how do you see this change? Do you think it is very extreme because combustion engines and electric vehicles, they're like polar opposites of each other?
Yeah.
The characters, the performances is very different. Do you think the shift is for the good of the people for the coming future? Or do you think there should be something in the middle that brings the best of both together and delivers the best performance, the best engine, and gives us the best feeling of a car, in the coming future?
Honestly, for me, with the growing research and development and everything, the one problem EVs have been having is infrastructures and the range.
Especially in India.
Yeah, especially in India. But if you also go to see the air quality and all in India is very bad at this point, and combustion vehicles are just making it worse.
Yeah.
So EVs are obviously the go-to option for eradicating that problem. But with the growing research and development and all, if if the researchers can come up with a good battery or something like an alternative to lithium ion, which is much more efficient than that at a lower cost. Of course, it should be cost effective. Then I see EV like growing, like the electric vehicles being the only vehicles used in the near future. But at the same time, for now, I guess hybrid vehicles might be the best option because they give you the best of both worlds. They give you the range of combustion cars and all.
Plus the
But
electric engine.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, for me at present, hybrid engines are like, the go-to option.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
What about you?
Even I think that the hybrid vehicles right now in this moment of time is the best option to go for, because if you have seen the hybrid vehicles, the mileage that they offer, because they give you the best of both the combustion engine and the electric engine, they offer you mileage. The numbers, if you listen to them, it's like out of the world. They give you mileages of 100 kilometer per liter. You can also recharge the battery on under braking when you are driving the vehicle. So that technology, it helps you in reducing the cost of maintaining a vehicle, which is very important when you choose a vehicle in countries like India, especially. So I think for the present scenario, hybrid vehicles are the way to go for. But I think in the future, with developed infrastructure, we might get good EV vehicles. EVs have an advantage over other vehicles because they have very good torque, they have very good initial torque, and they are again emission free. So they are very good for the future also. They'll be helpful in a sustainable development. Will be helpful to create an environment which is safer for our upcoming generation. So I think we should be looking towards EV, but at present the way to go for is hybrid. I think that's it. With this, we will come to an end of our today's auto roundup session of July. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for watching. We hope you found this
This
knowledge.
session useful.
Yeah.
We also gained too much knowledge while going through it. We hope we are able to deliver something to you guys as well. We'll be hopeful of seeing you guys again next time over here. Till then, stay tuned. Bye.